Hey friends, before we get started, I wanted to share with you that today's video is not sponsored. This is a purchase of my own that I have not been paid for or compensated in any way. Today, my review is my opinion and my opinion alone. So I hope you enjoy today's video. Hey friends, welcome back to Simply a Better You. My name is Shanine and today I am sharing with you the unboxing of my Nama juicer. So this is something that I have been wanting to invest in for the last 4 years. That is when I began my juicing journey. So a Nama juicer is on the higher end of juicers. I have been using inexpensive juicers that I have purchased off of Amazon and Walmart, and they've done okay. I have shared those with you here on my channel a few times, and you've heard my complaints here and there about them. So I decided to go ahead and invest the money into a really good juicer with exceptional extraction and one that puts out pulp that is a lot drier, so it is extracting more juice and nutrients from what you are juicing. So let me go ahead and share this with you. I purchased this. The purchasing process was extremely easy. I went through the Nama website and did my research and purchased it. I did find online an influencer's code to use. I do not know the influencer. I was looking for a discount code because these are expensive. This is not a $100 juicer or a $200 or $300 juicer. This is the big bucks, $500 plus juicer, and I wanted some money off of it because I like to save money. So this came in the mail relatively quickly. I got my tracking number within 24 hours. It shipped. I was impressed with the process. So this box came in a separate box that was packaged with styrofoam corners and stuff. So it was protected very well. And then it came in, of course, its own pretty little box. But everything is in here. And everything in the box is also in its own individual box from the juicer. So actually the juicer base, the container, the strainer, and the pulp and juice collectors. They're all in their own separate boxes, which that's pretty fancy. So packaging is exceptional. And on the box, it even says start here. So we're gonna pull out the first box and start unpackaging this. This is a pretty hefty juicer. This is definitely not lightweight. Oh, how nice. If you guys know my channel, you know that I love pretty packaging. I do like things to be a bit of an experience. I think that it says a lot about a company when they put the extra effort into something and the extra care. So I love nice packaging. So we have a quick start guide, user manual, and recipe book. It says start here on the front. And in here we have the Nama quick start guide. Obviously our user manual and a nice little recipe book, which is great. So we're going to put this off to the side. I will get back to that. This comes in a nice little bag, which I guess you could store it in if you want. My plan is to keep this on the counter. So when it is sitting out, I am more likely to use it. All right, a warm welcome from Nama. Layering guide, load your hopper in this order for best results. Starting at the top and going to the bottom. So leafy greens at the bottom, soft vegetables in the middle, to medium hard vegetables, and then hard vegetables at the top. So we got a cute little guide there. This is all plastic. The bottom part plastic. Filter is plastic and metal. Of course, you guys, I'm figuring this out as I'm looking at this as well. So let's bring you guys in here for a little closer look. So the middle, the top, everything is plastic. Now this is a thick plastic. This isn't cheap, flimsy plastic, which is great. The open and close valve on the front for the juice is also plastic. And then this is the pulp chute. So let's see. Somewhere, how do you detach? Warning, do not ever put your fingers inside, obviously. So they have lots of labels and instructions on everything. There should be, most of my other ones, this detached. There we go. So in here you have the filter basket as well as the auger. This is a masticating juicer. That is just what I prefer. You have your filter in there. And then this is the, of course, the little auger that goes down in. This to me would seem relatively easy to clean. It comes apart 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Easy to rinse out. Not any more complicated than any of my other juicers that I have bought. The reason why I chose the Nama juicer is, of course, the reviews. I have been looking at reviews of the Nama juicer for well over 4 years. I was just having a hard time with the sticker price on it, to tell you the truth. So I wanted to make sure that I had established the habit of juicing before I invested the money into juicing, because there is a lot of trends and fads that are out there, and as quick as they are on the scene, they are off. Juicing has been really big and popular, and I wanted to make sure this was something I was going to stick with. I didn't want to, you know, run out to the store, get the most expensive juicer, which is what my physician had actually suggested. He wanted me to purchase, I think it's called the Omega juicer, which was a little over $300. He said it was well worth the investment. He had purchased that himself, comes with a really good warranty. And I just wasn't ready to do that. I knew myself. I wanted to make sure I was going to stick with this before I spent money on doing this. So let's move on to the next piece. But this is pretty much the big piece that everybody is looking at. This is what you're going to clean. But this isn't any more complicated than what I have done in the past. What I really loved about the Nama juicer is that it has the big container at the top so that you can put larger fruits and vegetables in it instead of feeding them down that tiny little chute where you're kind of cramming them down in there and they get stuck. I didn't like that. I wanted to be able to cut it up, throw it in this container, flip it on, and let it go. So I just wanted the ease of that. All right, let's look at the bottom half. So this big guy is what's going to do all the work. This is the motor that the top is going to sit on. Top has been protected by additional packaging. Cord comes out completely. So let's grab this, pull this out. That's heavy. Okay. The base, most definitely heavy. Also comes in a nice little bag, which is great. Helps protect it. I will say nothing looks scratched, dented. I mean, they're even pretty much lint free. But this is the base. This is what's going to do all the work. And because I am not a numbers person, I will list in the corners below the voltage, this or the amps of this motor. That is something they definitely pride themselves on, which, yeah, that is something they definitely pride themselves on. So I will make sure you guys have that information if it's important to you. I will also enclose the information in the description box down below. So my husband would approve. There you go. He would approve. So this sits on top. Does it just set? Yep, it just sets on top. Snug fit. The cord goes at the back. I like that the cord detaches. So I really like that the cord detaches. That makes for easier storage. I can take this and toss it up here, or just put it in just set it next to it. This, of course, like most juicers, it has your ounce size in the bottom. Your juice will collect here. So fruits and vegetables up here. They go through the auger, the filter, and your juice collects down here until you release it on the side. And then you have reverse, off, and on. Nothing complicated. We have our juice containers. This isn't really anything fancy for me. These are just plastic containers. But there are some pluses to this, which I know I am going to enjoy. First off, this is the very first time I have purchased a juicer where the containers fit down into each other for storage. This is beautiful. Not only that, your juice container has a pour handle on it. So, and it has, of course, your ounces on it, and liters, whichever one you prefer. This is your pulp bucket, so not really anything fancy, but that's your pulp bucket. This is what I love. I love that it has a handle on it. I don't know how many times I have picked up my juice containers or a glass jar and it has slipped out of my hands. I also love that it comes with a lid. This is a game changer for me because this means I can juice it, put the lid on it, pop it in the fridge, and let it chill. So I prefer my juice cold. So this is probably my favorite feature right now. Yes, this is pretty and I love this, but this is going to be one of my favorite features, definitely. The fact that I can put it together and store it, it doesn't take up any additional room. Winner, definite winner for me. All right, I'm making a huge mess up here with boxes. Let's look at the last thing here. This is a coarse strainer. Now, obviously, I'm going to go through and read the directions on exactly how to use this. But because when I have purchased juicers in the past, it has only come with one strainer. So I'm not quite sure what this is going to be used for, but we're going to find out. I know that they sell strainers for milking. So if you want to do almonds, macadamia nuts, or things to make your nut milks, they sell strainers for that, as well as a separate juicer. And then I purchased a separate strainer for sorbet, which was an additional cost to this, and it came in separate packaging. But I'll have to see exactly what my coarse strainer is for. Here is your little plunger at the top while you're juicing. You can use this to move it around, push it down, cover the hole so nothing flies out of, and then a handy dandy cleaning brush. This is a plus. Oh look, I love cute little attachments. Little brush at the end flips out. This is what you are going to need to clean the strainer. All the little bits and pieces that get in the holes that you need to get out. So you have to have one of these. I have like 5. But this one, I will say, seems to be pretty sturdy. The teeth are definitely, or the bristles are definitely more sturdy than what I've purchased in the past. And the plastic is fairly sturdy. So we have all of that. That in itself is the juicer. Let's move this off the side. So that is the juicer and its pieces. I wanted to see if it would tell me what this big strainer is for. Ah, okay. So I wanted to check real quick before I finish up here. This is for a thicker and more pulpier juice. So if you're looking to add more fiber, or if you're making soups and you want like a thicker soup base and you want to puree basically your veggies, that's what the coarse strainer is for. So I'll have to try that. We'll see how that works. But I'm going to check out their recipe book. And of course, you can get recipes on their website as well, which I will include in the description below. They have everything from sweet juices to not sweet juices. So I like to lean more towards the green juice, but I do like a fruity juice every now and again. So guys, that is the Nama juicer. As I am setting up to get ready to juice, I will make sure I get some video of me juicing for the very first time with my Nama juicer, and I hope to share some juicing recipes with you as I continue my health journey. So guys, as always, I thank you for joining me on my journey, and I bless you on yours.